Here we are, the first city update for my new channel. Now, you'll see that I am packing a ton of stuff up, and really what that's about is I have to make room because we are ripping the entire city down. So I can paint the walls blue and add some really nice color pop to the background. One thing I do want to point out, though, is that you saw I was ripping out my comic books and putting them back in a box. And the reason that I'm doing that is I noticed when I started pulling everything off the table, the color difference of the wood from where the Lego was sitting and where it wasn't sitting. So it had me worried on those getting damaged, and that's why all my comics now are going to be getting placed in boxes. Anyway, a lot of the process of what I'm doing here was just simply trying to get all the boxes and all the sets and everything down off of the grid wall that I had installed there. And then I also have to get all the signs and everything down. And I still have a plan for that grid wall. I'm going to be using it to put other displays throughout the Lego barn, but more on that later. What I wanted to show you is how I pull apart my city. And part of the reason that I'm starting to focus over here on Harry Potter is because I know a lot of people are always curious as to how I illuminate things. Now, this particular portion of the city is a little weird, and what I mean by that is because of the way I did the driveways and such for all the houses. It's not it's a modular building, but it's not truly modular in the aspect of where you can just slide it away. I have to physically pop each driveway up because the driveway is what's holding it into the road section. So it's a little bit more complicated, but as you can tell by looking at the video anyway, at least I'm hoping you can tell, all my wire is ran through my Mills plate. And I do that because I don't want to have this huge unsightly mess of wire all over my table or all over the underneath of my table. Because most cities that I see, when they're building them and doing them, they use the sets that most people can buy because they're generally using the Lego modular buildings, so they're buying the kits. And with those kits, they don't design them in a manner and fashion that keeps them really hidden very well. Again, trying to show you some more of the lighting, alls I have to do, because this portion of it is truly 100% modular. As you can see, I'm stacking it on top of each other. And each section is a 48 by 48 plate, and each plate has wire ran through it. And on each end of the plate, I have a plug. So all I have to do is unplug each end, and then that section is removable. To give you a bit of an example, this is a little jumper that I've made for my own personal use, but it's the exact same plug that both Brickloot and Blinky Bricks use on their products, which are the two lighting products that I like to use the most. And I use those not so much because it's easier to fish through boxes or holes or anything with your Lego. I do it because with my eyesight and also with my fat fingers, it's a little hard for me to use the smaller plugs that some of the other companies do sell. And to me, I found that using the smaller 1.25 millimeter plug makes things a lot easier to work with, for me anyway. Part of the fun of this whole remodel is I can start getting rid of a lot of the buildings that I don't think I'm going to use anymore. So I can pack up these parts and I can make them usable buildings back in my city. And now that we have everything stripped off the table, it's time to get busy, guys. So here is my new color. This is the blue that I'm painting the walls. Now, my initial goal is to get the entire back half of the Lego barn all painted this color blue. Once I get it all painted blue, I will be adding clouds to give it a more natural look, so that way everything will pop. Just to give you some information, the entire back wall, the area that I'm painting is 30 feet as the back wall, and then I have a 12-foot section on either side. So I have 54 feet of wall that I'm painting blue, and I'm going to be adding the clouds to. And I'm also going to be ripping down my current table, and here's the reason why. By me ripping the table down and putting everything right up against the walls, like I'm going to be doing once I get everything painted, it's going to give me a really easy way to photograph and record with video or anything I want to do of the city, and always have just the sky background in the background, because to me, I never liked it with having the white and everything else. It just never looked right. And I feel this will quit distracting people's eyes when they see a city update or when they're looking at the city. You won't have nothing to distract you. It'll just be the actual Lego city. and then the clouds, the sky, the backdrop, which to me I think is going to really just totally change everything. But I'm also going to be redesigning everything in my city. I'm probably going to be destroying a lot of my buildings, believe it or not. And I know some people are probably like, oh my God, why would you do that? But I am. I am going to be destroying a lot of buildings to redesign because to me, I want to reinvent my channel and I also want to reinvent my city. I wanted to quickly give you guys an idea of how packed everything is in my barn right now with me having everything moved from that half this way. But I also wanted to show you the wall. The wall to me looks so good in blue. I am so excited to have done this. I just can't tell you how awesome this is. And I know the sound sounds a little different, so I apologize for that as well. But I just wanted to give you guys kind of a taste of how echoey it is now over here with everything out of the space. Now I still have to do in the trimming, and yes, I do still have to do the clouds. But hopefully that will only take another week or two, and then we can get back to Lego City building.